Coach Rogue made a video called Itemization Guide like you've never seen before. Oh my god, I'm curious to
My
see
goal
what
for
you
this
mean.
video is that it's not going to be like any regular old itemization guide you've seen before.
Oops.
This is one that's going to answer all of the questions about general itemization that you just can't seem to find the answer to anywhere else.
Alright.
As well as teach you
AKA by the thumbnail, when do you buy tier 3 boots probably. Let's
a
see.
bunch of really cool things about your items that you didn't even realize you needed to know. So what order should you buy your item components in? When should you buy
Depends on the champion, right? Because if you're Jinx, early game, attack damage is clearly better than attack speed because you already get attack speed from like little tempo, passive, Q passive, all that good stuff. So you want to buy attack damage as soon as possible. Yeah.
When should you buy lethality and flat pen as opposed to percentage pen? Should you upgrade to tier 3 boots when you win the feat of strength? What support item upgrade should you take? And why is it actually a good idea to be swapping your support item upgrade dynamically throughout the game?
You can do that, or you sell and you do that. I'm not a support, I have no idea.
These are just a few of the questions I'll be answering in this video, where I deliver to you an itemization guide like you've never seen before.
My name's Rogue and I played League of Legends professionally for 7 years. Now I'm a full-time content creator and coach for all ranks, iron through to challenger. So if you want more information on what a
on
coaching
Kick
session
with
with
a
me would
2
look
month
like,
sub.
you can find more
Poggers,
information
thank
by
you so
following
much.
the link in the video description below.
And while you're in the description, you'll also find the link to my Patreon, where I post all
It's
of the
got
recordings
Patreon
of
and
my guest
everything.
coaching sessions in full. With almost 1,000 hours of content currently available, all sorted by role and rank, including sessions where I coach for professional level teams, you can get a glimpse of what pro level league looks like from the inside.
I didn't know
That's why
Coach Rogue does so many things.
whatever you're looking for, you'll easily be able to find something that's going to help you improve, no matter your rank. Let's start off the video with the question I received more than any other. When should you upgrade to tier 3 boots? Well,
Usually I would say, if I had to guess the correct choice, only after you complete like your core. So if you play a crit ADC, if you are 100% crit, you can probably do it. But at the same time, it's like you'd rather just not upgrade and wait to buy full build and then only upgrade later. Kind of like Zephyr, back like last year, Zephyr was a thing. But I'm curious to see what he says. You know, I think tier 3 boots might only be worth it as well if, let's say, there's an objective. Like a Baron. You can only buy boots. And maybe you just want it for a short spike. You could do that maybe, right? But I'm not sure.
created the coolest looking graphic in order to break down what you receive from each boot upgrade, and from that we'll go through them all quickly and give you the answer. Alright, there's a lot of information to unpack here, so for the moment...
Yeah, not that much, you just get a few stats, that's literally it. That's it. The passives, yeah, I mean they're cool, but they don't mean as much.
Exclude the passives of each item and just give you the gold value of the stats alone. Now keeping in mind that the upgrade cost of all
Damn, the armor boots are that weak, the ADC boots are that weak. Swifties go hard with 500 gold. Mage boots go crazy. Cooldown boots go crazy there.
Tier 3 shoes is 500 gold. You can already start to see which of these boots are worth upgrading without even reading their passive.
Yeah, true. Swifties are worth it, Mage are worth it, and cooldown boots are worth it. The other three are kinda... depends on the passive, I guess. You get a shield and a shield on these two, here you get a bit of speed. Is it worth 200 movement speed? Maybe, right?
Cooldown boots, for example, are already worth buying off of their stats alone, before we've even read what the passive does, making them an obvious must-buy as soon as possible. Movement speed boots are a second obvious upgrade here as well. Their passive increases your adaptive force based off your champion's total movement speed.
That's sick.
With the average champion
Guys, wait. We might buy this on Jinx if you go full movement speed build with like Kraken and Phantom Dancer after the buff. Who knows? This goes crazy, actually. This goes crazy. What? This is pretty good. How much force would you get? Damn.
total movement speed.
It's pretty good.
With the average champion's base movement speed, plus the boot's movement speed themselves, this already translates to 20 adaptive force. Without
Yeah, like you get 20 force from nothing. And 20 force is like 12 attack damage, something like that. I'm not sure. Around that. I mean, it's not bad. Like boots giving you attack damage and movement speed. I think it's better than attack speed boots on Jinx. That's for sure. Something to consider. But it's the problem is you only get this like half your games. Maybe even less than half. Because you need to win the feats of strength. But with Jinx, early game you usually don't win them as often. So... it's crazy, but it's
without
only
even
the other
factoring
ones.
in champion abilities and items that can further increase your movement speed, giving you more adaptive force. So already, in a worst case scenario, Swiftness Boost upgrade already pays for itself in terms of value. So you want to always grab them straight away, especially if you have a movement speed steroid on your champion. Magic Penetration Boost.
If you get jinx passive, do you get more AD while you have passive? What? I never knew this. What? Wait. That's pretty good, no? Isn't that great? Oh my god.
Where things start to get a little more complicated. You see, they don't have a special passive, but over half of their gold value goes into Percentage Magic Pen. Percentage Magic Pen is only situationally good when against opponents with a lot of magic resist, meaning it's actually a really bad upgrade early on, or in any situation really where your opponent hasn't built magic resist yet. But once your opponent does have magic resist, this upgrade becomes absolutely insane, as it's the only way to have a second percentage magic penetration item in your build. So save this upgrade for later, once your opponent has a lot of MR, and then get them as soon as possible. Now we're left with only 3 pairs of shoes to cover. The armor and magic resist shoes do basically the same thing. When hit, they grant you a shield blocking their respective damage type that scales with your champion's max health and champion level. This mechanic makes it basically impossible to find a gold value since the shield size scales with such level variance. But I did some testing, and just know the shield is pretty goddamn big, especially if you build health items, and the shield even regenerates after 15 seconds, which is super nice, meaning the defensive shoes upgrade are pretty good into their respective damage type. Finally, we have attack speed shoes, which grant you a power.
This is what I care about, the ADC boots.
Passive that grants you a decaying movement speed buff whenever.
So this is what's annoying. You see this right here? 15% on melees, 10% ranged. These are supposed to be ADC boots, which are ranged, and they are worse on ADCs. I hate it. It's like a kick in the ass. It's so bad. It's so annoying. It makes sense, but it's annoying because it's just haha, you're ranged, you get nerfed. Melees are better, you know. It feels that way.
You hit a champion. On the average ranged champion, this is already worth 600 to 700 gold worth of movement speed, so you can imagine keeping this passive refreshed, you're going to get your money's worth. But funnily enough, that doesn't mean you should rush them still, even if they are a gold efficient use of your money, and that's because of the opportunity cost. Any gold you spend upgrading your shoes is gold you didn't spend upgrading your core items, which can delay important power spikes. Specifically for ADCs, this delays big items like Infinity Edge or armor penetration.
Like getting your 100% crit, I feel like is number one priority because crit scales with crit. It's crazy. So it's kind of insane.
Imagine a situation where Dragon's spawning in 30 seconds and you're 500 gold short of completing Infinity Edge. Or because on an earlier sequence you chose to upgrade your boots instead of buying a component for that item. Completed.
I think pickaxe is better. 25 attack damage. I take that over tier 3 boots, personally.
Items will always give you a bigger power spike than what completing your tier 3 shoes will give you, while tier 3 shoes will give you a bigger power spike than purchasing any single item component.
Any? Because I don't think they're better than a pickaxe and BF sword. Let me tell you that.
Therefore, the best way to think about your tier 3 shoes is to treat them like an elixir potion that grants the biggest possible short-term power boost for that sequence.
Before an objective, right? As I mentioned, probably, yeah.
If a game-defining dragon spawns in 30 seconds and you've only got 500 gold to spare, upgrade your boots instead of buying item components.
That's fair.
It may delay key items later, but it will give you the best possible chance to win the fight happening right now.
Yeah, I agree with this.
Okay, to take a step back and make everything we just learned more digestible, I sorted all of the boots upgrade into 3 different categories to make it simple for you. Swiftness boots and cooldown reduction boots are just OP. You should
They sound pretty damn good, not gonna lie.
probably buy them as soon as possible. Attack speed, armor, and magic resist shoes are all really good, and you should put some thought into getting them as soon as possible, but use them more situationally as a short-term power spike for a big fight, and don't delay core items by buying them.
Fair.
And magic penetration shoes are your ultimate tank killing upgrade. You should hold off on buying them early until you've got a tank standing in front of you. Moving on, let's talk about some of the cool stuff that I've never really seen explained before by anyone really. To start with, what order should you build your item components in?
See, I do talk about this for Jinx, though, right? Because I'm the Jinx guy, I can know everything about her and how her damage works. Attack damage, especially early on, is usually better.
The simple answer is prioritize the stats that your abilities scale off of.
There you go, right? Abilities do more damage, right? It's fair.
For some niche cases like Asante or Remus, this may mean prioritizing armor since that's what you scale off, but for most champions this will be attack damage, ability power, or health.
Man, I love tanks. You buy defensive and you deal more damage. Yes, yes, of course. Yes.
3 core stats of the game. So you always want to buy these components first when building your items in order to make the number on your ability go up, which on its own is already a good rule, but what's most important is that this actually gives you more efficient mana to damage ratios on your abilities. For example, let's say I'm playing Xayah and I want to rush a Kraken Slayer.
Okay.
My Q does a base damage of 90 damage and costs 50 mana. If I spend 700 gold and buy a recurve bow for attack speed, my Q still does 90 damage and costs 50 mana. But if I instead spend the same 700 gold to instead buy 2 longswords, my Q now does 110 damage, but still only costs 50 mana.
True. Your Q becomes better. But also your attack damage is better for basic attacks compared to a bit of attack speed, I'm pretty sure as well. Very early on. Later, if you already have attack damage item, then yeah, attack speed is good for basic attacks as well. But early on, I feel like your attacks, you don't get that much attack speed from daggers very early. Compared to long swords and these abilities as well.
Making my spells more efficient, and thus, I'm less likely to run out of mana.
Yeah, true. If you play Jinx, your W scales with AD. So, yeah, your rockets scale with AD as well. Something to consider. So you waste less mana. That's true.
My spells hit harder for the same amount of mana cost. This means on mages, if you're having mana issues, buying ability power is in a lot of ways a better way of not running out of mana.
Do not invite I buys like this Arya and Seraph. Seraph buys 0 AP boots and mana. Arya buys tier 2 boots. It's crazy.
Oh, then
where's the amplifying tomes, guys? Hello?
Buying mana as a stat itself is. Now, bringing us back to our Xayah example. Buying attack damage instead of attack speed is going to be better for our Xayah player for an additional reason, and that's because of multiplicative scalings.
Okay.
Now imagine you're playing an AD assassin like Zed or Talon. What are the stats in your items that you're going to be predominantly building? That's going to be attack damage, that's going to be lethality as well, and it's probably going to be cooldown reduction.
Okay.
Alright, so think about how these scale together. If you buy attack damage, you do more damage with your spells. But if you buy cooldown reduction, you get to use the spells more often. And since you have attack damage, they do more damage. Therefore, a mix of the two has a multiplicative scaling with each other.
So you're basically telling what I'm always telling. Guys, if you on Jinx already have so much attack speed, you need to buy attack damage. Because otherwise you just stack attack speed to attack speed and nothing works, interacts with each other, nothing. Right? You gotta buy attack damage first. And that's what attack speed. Attack damage again is what attack speed. For the most part. You can just buy one stat and expect to do much. Of course.
That is why ADCs who build crit items are so good in the late game. If you're a crit ADC, what are the stats that you build? You build attack damage, you build attack speed, you build crit, and you build armor pen. Usually a percentage type.
Yes.
Okay, think about the multiplicative scalings like this. When you buy damage, your attacks deal more damage. When you buy attack speed, you attack faster for more damage. When you buy crit, the crits are bigger because of your attack damage, and you attack more often, critting more often because of attack speed. When you buy percentage armor pen, it works on your crits to amplify them. It happens more often with attack speed, and it happens in a bigger number with attack damage.
Exactly. Right? So that's why we scale so hard. Like early game, sure, we buy attack damage, attack speed, Yuntal, and then we get some crit on top of it, very cool. You add infinity edge on top of that, he mentioned crit damage. Oh my god, you add LDR on top of that. Oh my god, you deal so much damage. But the start, hey, it takes a while. Of course it takes a while, compared to a mage that just buys one item and has all the stats they need already. So they're already spiking a bit harder, which, makes sense.
Crit ADCs scale well into the late game because they have 4 different types of multiplication.
5 crit damage is a thing. You forgot about crit damage. Because that's also like amplifying everything. Including your armor pen, the hurt harder and everything.
Scalings, while when you think about assassins, they spike early and with every item buy because they only have 1 or 2.
Yeah, true.
This leads to my absolute favorite itemization tip for ADCs. If I'm playing Jinx, I already get
Jinx, yes.
attack speed from having lethal tempo as my keystone.
And passive and Q passive.
And from my Q.
Yes.
If I'm fed, it's likely I'm also going to be able to get a kill early into a team fight and proc my passive, giving me even more attack speed. On top of that, if I have a support like Renata or Lulu who can give me more attack speed, all the better. With our Jinx player already having received a huge amount of attack
Look at this. Infinity, LDR, Mortal, whatever Yuntal. This is the mathematically correct way to deal damage on Jinx. Yeah, I mean, if you buy attack speed rune on a second, it feels better to play because it's more fun. But it's less damage. That's true. We don't need to hide that. It is more damage to go Infinity Lord Dominic's. They're just broken, you know? Attack speed, though, it's so fun. I love attack speed. I can't... It makes me play better, you know?
From 4 different sources. She already has enough attack speed right now, so we can entirely skip the need to build a dedicated attack speed.
Yeah, no Runan. This is why Runan is not that good compared to Infinity Lord Dominic's. 100% agree with this. But why am I going Runan second now? Because I'm bored. Like, these items haven't changed in years. Please, Riot Games, change my items. I'm bored. I'm tired of going the correct build all the time. I can't. I'm so spoiled. Like, crit right now, Yuntal Infinity Lord Omnix slaps so hard. But I'm bored of it. I'm spoiled. I have good crit damage, good crit items right now. I don't like them. It's wild. Us ADC mains are so entitled, it's crazy. We complain no matter what we complain. That's what we do.
Item, and instead rush buying items like Infinity Edge and Armor Penetration item first.
I 100% agree with this though, for sure.
That way, we maximize our attack damage, crit, and armor pen since we already have the attack speed component from other sources. That way, we can hit the critical mass with having all 4 multiplicative...
Also, by the way, crit damage is a thing as well. I forgot.
Scalings now bouncing off of one another, which will essentially make you come online an entire 1 item faster now that you have all of your multiplicative scalings ticked off.
Exactly. This 3 item spike is massive. Yuntal, Infinity, Lord Dominic's together. Oh my god, they slap so hard. Even just Yuntal Infinity slaps already. Then you add armor pen on top. Oof.
Moral of the story. Your Lulu support is just another glorified attack speed item. I'm sorry, support mains, your Lulu...
Oh my god. Lulu is a dagger. Lulu is the slingshot, actually. Lulu is slingshot.
Really just a dagger to an ADC now. Now, knowing situationally when you should build early armor penetration items like this is going to be my next tip.
True, because sometimes you want to buy LDR second. Like if they legit pick Ramos jungle, Cassante top, I think you have to go Lord of the second, especially if they have Leona as well. LDR second guaranteed you deal more damage. Like it's guaranteed. There's no question about it.
This is something I already...
But when does that happen? People play damage and carries. They don't want to play tanks as often. So it doesn't happen as often most of the time.
We talked about in an older video in which I had a really good explanation into the topic. So instead of recreating it all, I'm just going to play you a small segment from that video for you here. Since it's appropriate to the topic of this video, I just need to include it. When leveling up, most champions gain about 3 to 4 armor per level, but will only gain about 1 magic resist. This means that by the time they hit level 18, most champions only gain about 20 extra magic resistance, but will...
Yeah, that's wild. I never understood why. That's the thing. It's a bit weird.
Gain about 80 armor, putting them at just over 100 armor. 100 armor gives you a 50% reduction in physical damage taken, so at this level, you need to have a percentage armor penetration item even on assassins, since even the enemies with no defensive items at high levels will become tanky against physical damage.
Exactly, that's why I always recommend, guys, you go Yuntal, Infinity Edge, and then you're supposed to go Lord Dominic's, because everybody already has like 70, 80 armor, even ADCs. Lord Dominic's third deals more damage than Runan, but for some reason, people just don't listen. People just go Runan third instead of Lord Dominic's, and it has high win rate. I don't understand why, because there is more damage. It's a fact. It's more damage. But I mean, in a way, I understand why. It's because Runan on Jinx is a very special case. Runan on Jinx has the ability to double your damage, which no other item in the game has. And that's just it. And it also helps you with outside of combat stuff like pushing waves faster and getting more minions, getting more gold. That's the reality. That's what makes Runan on Jinx so good. So skipping Lord Dominic's where they don't have much armor yet, yeah, even though it deals more single target damage, Runan might do just more because of how the item works with rockets. That's the reality. And That's what I love about League of Legends. It's such a complicated game. It's so many factors. If you do damage testing, yeah, you are hitting target dummies, not champions in a real game, not minions, not camps, not barons, not stuff. So it's so hard to know exactly what's best. And that's why you see everybody just playing different builds. Do you have like Korean Challenger Jinx guy going Phantom Dancer second, and then you have me going Infinity second, and then I switch to Runan, and everybody just goes something different. It's crazy because more things work. There's no one build to fit them all. Multiple builds work. That's what I love about League of Legends. I love that.
Just from their high base stats. Whereas if you're a magic damage dealer, you can hold off on buying a void stuff until later when the enemy actually buys defensive items, since magic resist growth is just so low.
That's the last thing to consider. But yeah, definitely, people just get so much armor from nothing. ADCs having 100 armor late game without armor items is just bonkers.
Consider here is how fed you are. An ADC player who is extremely fed can sometimes delay their armor penetration item until their 4th item. So
exactly, bro. I like this guy. Coach Rogue, subscribe. I like this guy. He knows what he's talking about. Like, legit, he knows how to itemize. Legit. Yeah. Jinx that's fed, you can skip LDR to 4th. Yeah, that's true.
One of the main reasons that they need to build
right? And this is why I guess Runan could have higher win rate. Because if you feel like you're ahead, you go Runan 3rd instead of LDR. So you inflate Runan's win rate compared to if you're behind, you're probably going to go LDR 3rd. So of course it's going to have a lower win rate because you're behind in that game. Yeah, I mean, of course. And the LDR is a bit more expensive, so you buy it a bit later as well compared to Runan as well. So it makes complete sense why Runan 3rd has higher win rate, even though LDR 2nd should deal more damage. Of course. Yeah.
Armor pen is to combat the high amounts of armor their opponents gain through level ups, but this is most likely unnecessary since they'll be outpacing enemy level ups and finishing items more quickly because of the fact that they're fed. But in games where the ADC player is behind in gold, you'd likely need to build that armor penetration as your 3rd item.
I agree.
Since if you delay it, there will likely be a massive stretch of the game where you simply deal no damage, as you'd be hitting enemies with 100+ base armor, whilst yourself having no armor pen until extremely late. Hopefully you guys...
This is criminal. What's Kraken doing here? Kraken? Hello? Bro, this is supposed to be Yuntal. Hello? He probably mistaken it.
...pen until extremely late. Hopefully you guys don't mind me reusing my older work. It felt appropriate to include this.
Of course we don't. Like, legit, I myself have so many videos I could show you as well. I have this tips playlist that I always like show people. I have so many videos here that a lot of them are 1 year old, 2 years old, 10 months, 1 year old. Because I just had to make them. They're so good. And to this day, they're still very, very, very useful. And everything there is true still. So why the hell would I remake a video that's already good? If it's not broken, don't fix it. You know, like, it's so good. Yeah, of course you gotta use your old work if it's very good and still viable to this day. I mean, for sure, yeah.
This tip in this video about...
Okay, hold on, guys. I got field mid lane. I need to beg for ADC. Okay, let's continue.
Itemization, but I just really didn't want to have to remake everything when I've already done it before. So anyway, moving on. Now for a couple quick tips that don't require me doing any more math. Thank God, I am quite sickly frank of doing math after this video. Holy crap. If you get Elder Dragon, it's a really good idea to buy a damage over time item like Liandry's next time you recall. The damage over time effect of items will constantly reapply the burn of Elder Dragon, making it last way longer and dealing a ton more damage.
That's a good tip, but unfortunately, as ADCs, you remember Yuntal that used to bleed enemies? I love that item. They reworked it. Yeah, they did. So I can't do that anymore.
You can even see here, with just one NEQ, I managed to get 3 Elder Dragon executes.
I guess we have red buff, you know?
Because of this damage over time effect reapplying the Elder so often. Another kind of obvious but grossly underlooked component of taking neutral objectives like Atakan and Baron is that taking Atakan and taking Baron gives you an absolute ton of ability power. So if you get Atakan, or if you have Baron buff, just buy a Death Cap instantly, as you're just getting so much more value out of Death
That's true.
Cat's passive because you just have this massive injection.
I mean, it would be nice to have enough gold to just buy a Rabadon randomly. Yeah, just buy a Rabadon. If you're homeless, just buy a house. It's not that hard. Yeah, just buy it, lol, whatever.
Ability power given to you by these neutral objectives and their buffs. Now let's talk about support item swapping, and this one still surprises me because there are just so many people that don't know you can swap your support item for a different one at any point once it's fully upgraded.
Support items.
Just go back to base, sell your support item in the shop, and rebuy the new one with the upgrade that you want to change to. You only lose 120 gold in the process, so it's
Only 120 gold?
not costly at all, and there are a ton of situations where you should be swapping your support item mid-game. I honestly swap support item mid-game in about 50% of games I play, since the best support item for a situation most likely will change mid-game, so you shouldn't be attached to the first upgrade you chose.
God.
So why should you swap support item?
I did not know
that's
this.
due to
It's crazy.
one of the simplest itemization rules in League of Legends. When you are behind, you cannot afford to itemize defensively. As a mid laner, for example, when you are 0-3 and you buy a Zhonya's as your second item to not die
Nah.
more, you become utterly useless instantly.
Hell nah. No, never buy defensive and behind. How are you gonna kill enemies that have just more stats than you? You won't be able to.
If you already lack damage because you're 0-3 and behind in gold, and you start buying defensive items like a Zhonya as to not die more...
I hate when I see this in solo queue. Mid laners just going Road of Ages, Zonya, but they're behind. It's like, oh my god, how long do we need to wait until you come online? Like, what?
There's no real point being alive anymore because you just don't deal damage, so you're useless. On the other hand though, when you're ahead in gold...
That's why ADCs and Dantes trying to play ADC with tank items didn't work. Like, so what if you're staying alive if you're useless and don't deal any damage? Like, what's the point? It doesn't matter.
Itemizing to be slightly tankier is a really good idea. If you already have enough damage to kill the enemy, you can instead itemize to be a little bit tankier in your build to give yourself some wiggle room in case you mess up so that you don't get one-shot.
That's fair.
Carries and bruiser champions use this exact logic all the time, and you should follow that logic as well with your support item build. Let's say I'm playing a game of Nautilus support. At the moment my support item upgrades, my team is down by 5 kills. Well, when you're losing, you probably lack damage, and so it's best to compensate a little by buying a blood song in order to amplify your team's damage, so you can try to get kills and make a comeback. Another thing to note is that when you're down in gold, generally playing a team fight front to back doesn't work anymore, since the enemy will just simply kill your frontline first. Which makes this support item even better, since most teamfights the win con is going to rely on us diving a fed enemy carry and killing them, which makes this support item upgrade the best to do so because it helps us do that. Now fast forward and imagine it's 10 minutes later into the same game. We've somehow managed to make a comeback and we are now winning. We're up 5,000 gold and are definitely going to be winning front to back teamfights as a result of that. Not only does our team now have enough damage, and so the general rule of pivoting to build more defensive with your items is just a good idea now, but the win condition of our teamfights has changed entirely. No longer do we have to kill the fed enemy carry, we have the fed enemy carry, and so we just win fights front to back.
Yes, you just kill the tanks. Damn, this makes so much sense. What? This is insane. Like, actually, bro, like, I subbed to him, I'm giving him a like as well. Oh my god.
All we have to do is play to keep our carry alive and kill the closest target to us, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And so it's a good idea to sell your offensive support item and instead buy a defensive one, most likely Celestial Opposition or possibly Solstice Slade, since they both better play towards the game state that we're now in. Of course, the same is true in the inverse. If you have a defensive support item to start with, and then your team throws the game and gives Baron, you're probably going to have to play the next fight to try and kill the enemy carries. So sell your defensive support item and buy the aggressive one so you have a better chance at killing the carries and making a comeback. So don't always feel like you have to stay married to the first upgrade you chose. You can always swap to another one if the situation demands it.
Yeah, this is huge.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Now, going forward, you're going to see some new content on my channel. I'm hiring an...
Legit, I'm excited, bro. This was such a good video. Such good information. It's so hard to find like very, very good and valuable information about League that's unbiased and it's legit, pure good information. It's so hard and it's like, damn, good job.
Editor to help me create an additional video per week for my channel. So you'll get your usual Saturday video entirely made and edited by me, as well as on an occasion a midweek video created, written and directed by me, but polished to make look nice by an external editor. This video will be very much like my standard videos, but will focus on explaining concepts by also giving examples taken from games I play on my stream. So look forward to new content coming in the future. Otherwise, have a great day.
Great video. Guys, I'm sharing it with you. Give it a like. He deserves everything. This was so good.